Greetings, my name is Jack McNeil. You're listening to Baseball Essential. Welcome. The offseason is here, and you can find all your offseason news at baseballessential.com. Now let's just jump right into it. The St. Louis Cardinals lost to the Chicago Cubs in this year's playoffs, the first time the Cubs and Cardinals actually met in postseason history, and the Cubs won. Now, some people might be surprised. The Cardinals were the best team in the majors, the best team on paper, and had an abundance of pitching. But their starting pitching, while it might have been there for some of the postseason, did not show versus the Cubs in all the games, and the bullpen really fell apart. That being said, the Cardinals' depth in their minor leagues really comes down to pitching, while the Cubs' depth is more on the offensive side of things. That being said, the Cubs now have the best farm system in baseball, and the Cardinals, which used to have the best, have kind of touted all of their top prospects out and have played games. So now their once top prospects are now major league regulars or starters for them, Colton Wong and an abundance of others. There's no doubting the Cardinals' ability to have minor league talent and become major league talent. That transition has been shown successful once, time and time again with the St. Louis Cardinals development. That being said, their farm system has been a bit depleted of late, and this is why this story is a big deal. Alex Reyes is the number one prospect for the St. Louis Cardinals and the 51st overall prospect for Baseball Prospectus. He is also, of course, their top pitching prospect. Now, a few years ago, Shelby Miller was their top pitching prospect, and they traded him to the Braves. Last year, their top prospect was Oscar Taveras. He tragically died in a drunk driving accident. The Cardinals, from the past few years, do not have their top prospect in their system, and there's been guys like Matt Carpenter who have been mid-level prospects known for their defense, not offense, come up and be all-stars. So, yes, prospects are unpredictable. That being said, Alex Reyes had lights-out stuff and was the Cardinals' kind of standout player this year in the minor league system. He made it to Double-A and struck out over 50 in just over 34 innings. I mean, this guy is a monster. He went from rookie level to Class A to Double-A. Very impressive numbers, and he made the Arizona Fall League team, and he was going to start the All-Star game for that league. It's a big deal. We're talking about the top prospects in baseball. That being said, he announced on Twitter his official statement about this. He's been tested positive for marijuana. He says, "Baseball is my passion. I will do everything in my power to put this behind me and move forward." This is his second suspension, drug-related, and obviously marijuana is the case here, and it is a 50-game suspension. If he gets caught again, if he gets tested positive again, it's a 100-game suspension, and if he gets tested positive for, yes, a fourth time, it is a lifetime ban. It's a serious thing. They don't take marijuana lightly. It's interesting because Jeff Passan of Yahoo Sports has written extensively on this matter. He talks about his premise of an article is that you could actually smoke pot onto a major league roster if you are a top prospect, like Jonathan Singleton, who supposedly is a marijuana addict. You get caught multiple times, and all of a sudden, you're on your second or third time. You could be suspended for 100 games, or you could be taken out for life. And if it's a top prospect who's close to the major leagues, to be suspended for 100 games is going to cost your team some potential games and some money. And if you're close to a lifetime ban, well, obviously, that's very valuable for your team to prevent as well. So for Jonathan Singleton, the Astros signed him to a major league contract of $30 million before he even played a game, partly to prevent him from being suspended for 100 games or lifetime ban, because I believe he was suspended for 100 games. So it's a wild idea, but it has happened before. I'm not suggesting this could happen here. What I'm using this as a point is to show marijuana has some strict punishments in the minor league system. For major leagues, however, they don't really test much for marijuana. When they do, if you get caught, you will have to deal with maybe some treatment, and you get looked at, and you eventually could pay fines, some hefty fines, not in comparison to some of the salaries, but $35,000, $40,000 after your third time getting caught. So the idea that Jeff Passan and others have presented is that you can smoke weed in major leagues, but you can't in minor leagues. And Alex Reyes, St. Louis Cardinals top prospect, has learned this the hard way. Jeff Passan tweeted tonight, "Let's just get this out of the way. Nobody should be suspended for marijuana, period. End of story. A ridiculous, outdated rule from Major League Baseball." That is it for us today. My name is Jack McNeil. You've been listening to Baseball Essential. Thanks.